I've been living in Thailand for the last 547 days, and it's safe to say this is definitely my favorite country in the world. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over the raw reality of the pros and cons of living or even just traveling out here to Thailand, so that way you guys can see whether or not it'll be worth it for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight in. So number one, I would say the best pro is how cheap it is. What I mean by that is literally if you're making $5,000 a month online, let's just say with remote sales as an appointment setter or a closer, that pretty much equates to $15,000 a month out here in Bangkok, Thailand, just because the rent is cheaper, the food is cheaper, transportation is literally nothing. You can get everything delivered right to your doorstep for literally just a few pennies. And as well as like being able to save and invest, that'd probably be my number one reason why, like if you're like a digital nomad or making money online, Bangkok, anywhere in Thailand actually is a really good place to go just because you're able to save, invest, and live a lot longer for a lot less. And the reason I put cheap as the first pro is because I did come out here myself with 1,500 USD in my pocket, no income whatsoever, and I was able to make it at least 547 days. Now, of course, I did, attain income with remote sales, first as an appointment setter, then as a closer. If you guys are interested in learning how that's done, there's a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel, so you guys can watch those. But I mean, anywhere else in the world, Dubai, Miami, Morocco, any like high level place like that's super expensive, I would have been eaten alive and I would have been eating the bugs in the street. But since I came out here to Bangkok and Thailand, I was able to make that 1,500 last almost 2 months before I had to fast and eventually found my role as an appointment setter. So that's number one. Then we'll go over one of the first cons, which is the air quality. Now the air quality, right now it's not too bad looking outside the window at the moment, but sometimes it does get a little bit disgraceful. And in terms of like you'll be walking around, your throat will start hurting, you start getting brain fog. You're not able to really think as sharp, and that's because of all the pollution. Of course, it's a really big city, so you will of course have that air quality diminishing just a little bit. But of course, you can just adapt, conquer. It's just strengthening the lungs. It's not that big of a deal. I haven't had any bad things to say about the air quality that much, but you can kind of notice it whenever I go to like Chiang Mai, Koh Samui, or back home in the States when I'm visiting my family. I can definitely tell the air quality is a lot better back home and in those other places than here in Bangkok in particular. And in Chiang Mai as well, they do have something called like a burning season where they're burning their crops. And that's when the air quality gets like 10 times worse, maybe even 20 times worse. And I was literally there when I was getting my 15-month visa set up. And it's just like a big fire. It's so much smoke. It's not bad. It's not good at all. But then another pro is the weather. Now, of course, the air quality isn't that great, but the weather is absolutely amazing. You can tan literally pretty much every day of the year. You can go outside, it's always clear skies. Sometimes it's a bit cloudy, but it only lasts just a few hours, and then you can go right back to tanning. And with the weather as well, in Thailand as a whole, there's something called a raining season, where it does rain a few months out of the year, kind of like a monsoon season. But it's not as bad as people say. It only rains for like a few hours a day, and then it's back to sunlight. It's not that bad. I've been here the entire time, and it was just like raining maybe the first part of the morning, maybe late at night, but like during the midday, I would still be able to tan and do what I actually want to do. And another thing about the weather is there's mostly like summer, spring, and then summer again. So it's just like a constant cycle of that. There's no like autumn, winter, spring. Like there's not like 4 seasons, there's really only 2. And I really do like that. I just like being able to tan all year round because with tanning, you're able to maximize your test, which equates to more success in your life. So being able to work out, tan, drive motorbikes with your shirts off, that's the most high test activity you can ever think of doing. And then another con is the degeneracy. And what I mean by that is you can literally have any type of vice delivered to you. You can go out and get it. Weed is legal. Prostitutes are roaming the streets. It's pretty much like the Wild West out here. So you have to be very disciplined. This place, especially Bangkok, some parts of Koh Samui, some parts of Chiang Mai, pretty much all around Thailand has these degenerate parts, especially Pattaya. So Thailand as a whole will be testing you as a man to see how disciplined you really are. You can buy alcohol at 7-Eleven, You can go buy drinks. You can get drinks for free. There's only like a few hundred baht just for some beer, some vodka. Weed is like a few hundred bahts, like a few dollars. It's like super cheap, super easy to attain. Any type of vice, any type of steroids, you can go to like the pharmacies and they can just give it to you over the counter. Pretty much everything you can think of to do with any vice you can think of, you can absolutely get. So with the degeneracy, it is a con in my opinion, just because everything is so readily available. Someone who's like weak-minded, they don't really have any purpose, place, or goal in mind, they're easily gonna fall off the ladder. I mean, I've seen it from time and time again. I've had a lot of my previous friends come out here and they just went straight into the degeneracy full on, and they had to go back home because they ran out of money. So if you guys do come out here, make sure to, keep a level head. You got to make sure you stay disciplined and don't get into that degeneracy. You can maybe tap into it just a little bit, but not too much. Just maybe a little taste here and there, but don't fully indulge. Don't treat it like a all-you-can-eat buffet. Limit yourself. And then for the third pro, I would say the network. The network out here is absolutely powerful. I actually have a network out here in Living Unchained and the High Table, where we have a lot of digital nomads. A lot of people, we just spar together, make money together. We have people making 10K, 50K, 100K, even $1 million like a year, every single year. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy in terms of like the personnel that's out here. And all of them are like making money online. So if you are looking to make money like digital, in the digital world, anywhere in the world, Bangkok is one of the best places to be, because we're not making money from delivering Grab. We're not like doing DoorDash or like that type of stuff. We're not working at 7-Eleven. We're all making money from our phones and our laptops, and that's able to provide us the ability to unlock time freedom, location freedom, and eventually financial freedom if we don't go into this degeneracy a little bit too much. And with the network out here, I think it's one of the best things on this in this pro list today, just because like when you're surrounded by people who are levels above you, people who are making more money than you, people who are in better shape than you, they have better thoughts than you, that'll just kind of help you level up overall, because you're literally the average of the 5 people you hang around right now. So back home, if you're hanging around like 5 people who are just drinking, partying, they don't even go to the gym, they play video games, they smoke weed, bang around with girls, getting girls pregnant, they don't really have anything going for them in life, that's ultimately going to be your life as well. But on the contrary, if you're out here in Bangkok, Dubai, Miami, but we're going to talk about Thailand today, even in Koh Samui, even in Chiang Mai, all around Thailand, there's all these different networks of people that are all making money, focused in the right direction. That will help you lead yourself in the right direction as well. And then for third, on the con side of things, is the corruption. Now, this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing, but for me, I would say it's a little bit of both, but I'm just gonna lean it more towards the cons, and that's the police are pretty much screwed over, but in a good way. For example, I was unfortunately driving home a little bit intoxicated the other day, and I got pulled over, and they did the breathalyzer test, and it was not a good look. It was very, very off the scale in terms of like what it should have been, and they were threatening me to like take me to prison, all this type of stuff. But luckily, it's very corrupt. Maybe this actually would be a pro, but all I had to do was bribe him, paid him like 5,000 baht, and went on my merry way back home, and there was no problems whatsoever. But on the other hand, if you do get in trouble and you don't have any baht to pay them off, then you're going to jail pretty much for life. You're pretty much screwed. If you have like any shrooms, any cocaine, any type of drug or anything that you're doing bad, if you maybe if you've overstayed, or maybe you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, you might get killed. You might just go to prison for life for something you didn't even do. But you just need to be very smart, be very aware, be very cautious. But it's not that big of a deal, but it is just a little bit skeptical. It's a little bit off the charts in terms of like how the policing and stuff, the rules actually work. It's pretty much like a lawless country, but it's pretty fun. It's like the Wild West. And then for the fourth pro, that is the culture. Now the culture here is absolutely phenomenal. You literally get treated how you treat other people. The only people I've seen who've had bad experiences out here in Thailand with the people, like the locals, is the people who treat everyone with disrespect. They're yelling, they're not taking any mind, they're not thinking of how the other person feels, they just are very inconsiderate. And those people have been treated bad just because like they kind of believe in like karma out here. So when you're treating people bad, they're gonna treat you bad. But I've never had one single experience that has been bad with the local people, just because I treat everyone with respect And if you do the exact same thing, you'll have no problem whatsoever. Everyone out here, if you treat everyone with respect, you do the right thing, everyone will do the right thing to you. Even when you drop money, when you drop your phone, you leave your wallet. I could leave my wallet in the street. No one's gonna pick it up. They believe in like karma, so if they believe like if they do something bad to you, if they steal from you, something bad will happen to your family. But don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. I just know like I walk around like with my earbuds in like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Nothing bad happens to me. Maybe it's because I'm strong and sexy, but I have no idea. I'm just seeing no problems whatsoever. Even with my friends out here, they've had no problems whatsoever. All my friends are good, very respectful. No one has had any issues whatsoever. Because back in the UK, from a few of my friends who are from the UK, they say if you like walk around with your Rolex, your AP on, your arm will get clearly chopped off, and that's something that just will not happen out here. All right, guys, we're gonna go through 3 more real quick, and for the 4th con, I am going to put time zone. This goes especially for people who are in remote sales, people who actually need to do work in the US. You're usually gonna have to work from like 8 p.m. until like 4 or 5 a.m. at night. And that's what I used to have to do that back when I first started appointment setting with remote sales. But luckily now I'm a remote closer for my friend who has an offer that I'm able to actually work from like only 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. That's when my calendar's open. I'm only taking like 4 to 5 calls a day, so it's a lot more chill than when it was maybe like 2.5 years ago. But with the time zone, when you do get into remote sales, usually you're gonna be working a US offer. So that means that you're gonna be like 12 hours ahead of the US time, which means like 4 p.m. here will be 4 a.m. back in my hometown. So usually you're gonna have to be working Batman hours, working long nights, and that's not that fun. But hopefully you'll be able to find an offer that's either an Australian offer, UK offer, an offer that's more worldwide, so you can actually work throughout the day and be a normal human being, which luckily I've been able to help myself and 50 plus others actually find these type of offers that actually align with what they're actually looking for income-wise and time-wise. So if that's something you want to kind of do yourself, the link is down below to book a chat with me. I can see if I can help, and then we can kind of go from there. And then for the last but not least pro, the woman. The women are night and day difference in terms of back home and here. They're a lot more submissive, more feminine. They're just a lot more fun to hang around. They're very simple creatures. They just like to eat, dance, sing, have fun, go out, have a good time. They don't really ask for much. They just want to be in a high frequency state, which is a lot different from back home. They expect you to make 100K a month back in my hometown, even in Miami, maybe Dubai as well. They expect you to make 100K a month, provide everything, and then they don't even give you anything at all. But here, just actually the other day, I was like on my deathbed, dealing with food poisoning, and then my girl would just like wipe me down with like this cold rag because I was getting like this fever. She was helping me buy me Gatorades, all this type of stuff while I was just laying there on 1 HP. So I mean, back home, you just won't really see that, as well as when I first came out here with 1,500 USD to my name and I went flat broke, nothing going for me, nothing at all. I had $0, $0 baht in my pocket, and my girl would buy me coffees. She'd be like, Ryan, I know you're gonna do it. Here's some money. She was like buying me food, all this type of stuff. But you know, as a man, you'd be very grateful for that. But as well, I was like, oh man, I gotta get my shit together. I gotta get back on track. I gotta start actually making money, send her back to her dorm so I could actually focus. And that's when I had to fast for like 110 hours. And then finally made it on my first appointment setting role. But I mean, back home, maybe in Miami, anywhere else in the world, if you're like flat broke, nothing going for you, a lot of these girls, they'll just leave you in the dust, like, oh, this man isn't shit, I deserve more. But here in Thailand, from what I've seen personally, they'll be there for you even at rock bottom, which is very powerful, just to kind of get you out of that situation, to get you to where you actually want to go. And then last but not least, for the cons, lady boys. Lady boys, you guys have heard this all the time. This is what the propaganda has been feeding you. The lady boys are very rampant out here in Thailand, which is somewhat true. But then you guys forget that there's also almost like 20, 30 million actual girls out here. So don't just let these ladyboy propaganda fool you from all these TikToks, these reels, all these ladyboys like, oh shit, is Thailand just all ladyboys? It's just absolutely not true. How would they reproduce? It just doesn't make sense, guys. But yes, it is true. There are quite a bit of ladyboys out here. So you have to be very careful. And a few tips I'll give to you guys is you want to be looking for the Adam's apples. You want to look at the collarbones. The voice is a very big indicator. A lot of these girls, ladyboys, they have a lot of test in their voice, very deep masculine voice. So be wary of that. But from afar, a lot of my friends in my network, even myself from a long way away, it looks like a real girl. Then you get up close, you're like, oh shit. See a Adam's apple. You look at their legs, you look at their feet, their hands, they're absolutely massive. And then you're like, oh, well, that is in fact a ladyboy. So guys, those are the short pros and cons list for today's video today. I hope you guys enjoy it thoroughly. I'll be getting a new camera soon, so you guys won't have to deal with this iPhone quality very long. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.